Is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, last week we finally finished our 6 GPU Flux mining rig. It took me weeks to get this thing together, but I was so excited to finally get this thing built and share it with you guys. Well, the video was a really big success, not only with the Flux community, but with Ethereum miners looking to go ahead and utilize some of their cards that are optimal for mining Flux. But I will say, after I released that video, I got a lot of direct messages and a lot of comments on the video from miners looking to swap their rigs from Ethereum to Flux if their GPUs were more profitable. And based off of what to mine, it was a clear representation that Flux was more profitable to mine on certain generation cards. So where do I start? What is the best overclock settings for your graphics cards? The overclock settings are gold. They're really what set the pace for your profitability. You've really got to have some great overclock settings, ones that give you the best hash rate possible for the least amount of watts. We constantly talk about that on the channel. So I have two options for you guys to get started, two resources that I believe will be super helpful for you guys. And I feel like after this video, you'll have a launching pad on how to get started. Now, I will tell you, stay for option number 2, because I feel like option number 2 is the better of the two. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. So your first stop along the way, guys, is going to be over to the runonflux.io website. These are the developers behind Flux. On their website there, and I'll put a link to this website down below, you can go to Explore and go to Miner. And if you scroll down, they have the Zelhash white paper, the Flux pool information. They have a little bit about the Flux community and third-party pools. But if you scroll all the way down, they got a little bit about the miners that are available. But take a look down here. Tuning your GPU for optimal performance. Sample overclock settings are being maintained by the community here. So let's go ahead and check it out. So this is a third-party website, not associated now with Run on Flux. And on this website grid, I'm not familiar with the website, but you could go ahead and see that they've gone ahead and collected a decent amount of cards out there, AMD and NVIDIA, and you can see that they have a list of them. So they have a list, so starting at the top, starting as low as like your 1050 Ti's, and they give you a variety of different categories and fields in order to populate. So if you guys scroll through this, there's a lot of really good information, a lot of fantastic overclock settings that I would recommend you test out. They go through down into the 2000 series cards, the 3000 series cards, and then they get into a lot of your AMD cards in here. I mean, there is an awful lot of cards on this list, which is awesome. So this is option number 1. Now, the only thing I didn't like about option number 1 was some of the data was a little garbage. Some of the data was really good. Some of the information that I saw on this list that was important to me, but I didn't see it anywhere, was the memory type. As we all know, as a miner, memory type is critical. We really need to know the memory type. And a lot of the times this goes hand in hand with the make. I have an MSI, it's using, Samsung GDDR5 or DDR6. And then that really sets the pace on what type of hash rate you end up getting. Because guess what? If that person has an EVGA and they're using Hynix or Micron, their overclock settings are most likely totally different than my overclock settings because we're using different memory types. So that's the one thing I didn't like about this list. So what did I do? I created my own list. So the second option is the Hobbyist Miner Community Flux Overclock Settings. So I spent some time, I scoured the globe, and I made sure that a lot of the pertinent information that I was looking for was available. Now, all of these settings are with MiniZ. If you're looking for a miner, MiniZ, you will find with your testing, guys, is the best miner to use for Flux, and I'll make a note on this document for that. But what I've done is I've tried to get as much as I can out there for at least NVIDIA. This is where I'm getting started. If this sheet goes well and I have a lot of additional submissions for it, then I'll start one for AMD or just continue the list down for AMD. But as you guys can see, I spent most of my night with a pot of coffee and grinding forums, grinding posts, Twitter posts, websites looking for these settings. And my goal is I wanted to have several different makes available for one type of card. And then I also wanted to have several different memory types, because when I'm looking for, you know, a new coin that comes out or something like that, and I want to go ahead and mine it, you know, the things I look for is like, okay, can I find someone who's posted something that has the same make and model and then memory type? Because I'm most likely to get a very similar hash rate. Not exactly, but very similar. So I've gone through the list. I tried to get, you know, we got a lot of Gigabyte, MSI, NVIDIA, ASUS, EVGA, Zotac in here. Sapphire is in here. Then what I did was I created from top to bottom. So we have our 1060s at our 3 gig, our 1060s at our 6 gig. We then go through, we have our 1070s, our 1070 Ti's, 1080s. I'm looking for submissions for the 1080s. I'll talk about that in a minute. 1080 Ti's, 2060. I'm looking for some more submissions. I do have some 2060 Supers in here. I have one of my own. 2070s, 2080s. I am looking for some more 3060s. I have 3060 Ti's, 3070s, 3080s, 3080 Ti's, and 3090s. So I've done my best to provide this for you guys as a launching pad to get started with your overclock settings. I'm hoping that you can find at least one overclock setting in here that you can use in your rig. Now, here's my outreach to you guys. I'd like to make this list more robust. So with that being said, on the right-hand side, you guys can see, if you would like to submit your own Flux overclock settings, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can, when you're in the document, there's a little comment button in the top right-hand corner. Click on it, and then add a comment. And that comment, you can say, hi, I have a GTX 1080. Here's my memory. Here's the make, and here's my overclock settings. That would be awesome. You know, leave all the columns that we need in there, and I'll check that. And then I'll update the sheet. The second way you can do it is, of course, on this YouTube video, leave a comment down below with your overclock settings, and I will add them to the sheet as well. My goal is to get a nice, robust Flux overclock settings community sheet that is easily referable to you as the community member. And yeah, that's it. So guys, hopefully these 2 options, the one that we got from Run on Flux, the original option, option 1, and or option 2, between the 2 of them, hopefully you guys find enough information, enough resources available to you to feel more comfortable with overclocking your Flux mining rigs. Well, that's it for today, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care.